Happy e-learning day. I understand that some people were feeling kind of confused about the new project, and so I thought I would just kind of take some time and go over this with you in order to make sure that you completely understand, and then if you have any other further questions, you can let me know. So this is called the Math in the Real World project, and as you know, we've been talking a lot about um, the cost of things in real life, and so the whole purpose of this is for you to plan and budget a monthly income and figure out how much stuff actually costs. Um, so in order to do this, this would be your kind of step one. Um, you're going to select a job from the list that I've given you and use the salary there. Or if you really don't like any of the jobs on the list, you can go to this website here and pick something from that list and just like let me know that's what you're going to do. And so then what you're going to do is follow the directions and complete the chart on the following pages to identify how much money that you're going to spend in each category, including a housing budget. So this is basically a more detailed version of the worksheet that we did in class the other day. Okay, then you're going to use the pages that are in this packet, including the occupational research, the income and expenses, and these are the kinds of things you're going to do. So monthly income, you're going to calculate your monthly income according to your salary. Monthly expenses is you're going to calculate how much you'll spend each month, which will help you determine how much you can afford for rent and how much you can save. This is really important, and we'll come back to this. I meant to delete this about including a pie chart, so do not worry about doing that. If you want to do extra credit to bring your grade up, I will let you do extra credit to bring that up, but not everybody needs to do that. Part 3, rental details. You're going to just search on the internet to find an apartment within your budget. And I recommend this website, but there are other ones, apartments.com. You can just Google anywhere. You can even look on Facebook. Okay. Part 4, savings. This is just like our top 3 that we talked about. Okay, so you can reuse the stuff you used for your top 3. What are the things that you want to save for? And how long it would take to save for things. Okay, at the very end, there's some reflection questions. Reflect on what it was like to have a budget and how the project went. And then at the end, you're going to take all of this information and put it on a poster that you're going to share with everybody in the class. Your poster can either be poster board or you can make it on a big poster. Either way is fine, but if you do it on a poster, like a digital one, it's probably going to need to be a really big one, but you're going to need to print it, and we can work together for that. Due February 24th in class. So you can see right here, these are the occupations and salaries that you can choose from. And again, if you don't like these ones, you can go to the website up here. So these are your options, and I tried to just pick, I added a bunch that were not in here the other day when we played the game in class. Okay. Now, this is what we were supposed to have been doing on day 1 of e-learning is pick your occupation either from this list, from that website. You write down what the occupation is, and then I had said do 3 of the bullets. So these are the bullets here, 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 here. Okay, and you can see that this is showing you where you can find the information. But let's just kind of take a look here just for those of you who might be confused what you would do. So if you have your occupation, this is the website I recommended. Let's say that you just picked 911 dispatcher, and this is on the BLS.gov, which is Bureau of Labor Statistics. So this is where all the information kind of comes from for the US. They keep track of how much money people make. Okay, so I've got right here police, fire, and ambulance dispatchers. Their summary, what they do, work environment, all this information is right here. And if I look right here, I would just type in, my occupation is 911 dispatcher. And the first question is, explain your job. What does an average day look like? Include what type of education, degree, and training is required. So if I pop over here, I can click on what do they do. And when I read this, it's going to tell me duties, what they do. Okay. And then I also need to answer for this question, what type of education, degree, and training is required? So if I was looking for that, I would go to how to become one. Education, most dispatchers are required to have a high school diploma. Training varies by state. So I would read this, and then I would take that and put that in here. So you may not have enough space, so you may need to have another document, Google Docs or something, where you write down, summarize that information. So training varies by state. Some states require 40 or more hours of initial training. Some require continuing education every 2 to 3 years. Other states don't mandate any specific training. Some agencies have their own programs. Training is usually conducted in a classroom and on the job. Training covers a wide variety of topics, including geography, agency protocols, and standard procedures. Dispatchers are also taught how to use specialized equipment such as two-way radios and computer-aided dispatch software. Computer systems that dispatchers use consist of several monitors that display call information, maps, and any relevant criminal history and video depending on the location of the incident. Dispatchers often receive specialized training to prepare for high-risk incidents. So what you would do is you would read the sections on what their duties are and what their education and training is and summarize that, and that would be one bullet. Okay. The other website that I gave you guys was ONET. I would really prefer that you only use these two websites because they are both really, really solid and their information is going to be accurate. They're drawing on the same kinds of information. But ONET's works pretty similarly. Okay, what specialties are in this occupation? For example, being a doctor is an occupation, but a specialty might be pediatrics. So you're going to use those websites to answer these questions. Okay. Now, to answer this part, part 2. I know that I have my salary. Okay. For this one, it's $40,660 per year. That would go in yearly salary right here. Your occupation would be 911 dispatcher. Yearly salary, monthly income before taxes and insurance. I would take that yearly salary and divide it by 12. Then I would calculate here, I need to subtract 12% from my yearly salary. Calculate what 12% of that amount is. Divide that number that you got right here, divide it by 12 to figure out what your monthly amount is. So that's what you're doing all the way down here, is you're calculating what is 5% of my yearly salary, and then what is divided by 12 for this 5% to get the monthly amount. And then you can subtract here, and then this number minus this equals this. Okay. So the big thing for doing this is just taking your time. You can use a calculator. You can use a percentage calculator, which your math teacher would say is cheating, but this is not a math class, so that's fine. I use calculators when I'm doing my budget. Okay. So when you have this amount here, this is what you start with in order to subtract from the rest of determining your monthly expenses. So you're going to take 25% of whatever your total monthly income is to get your budgeted amount. 5% of your total monthly income. So start at the top and take one step at a time. If you do not take one step at a time, you're going to get confused and you're going to make mistakes. Okay. So don't worry too much about the rest of that. We'll continue to talk about that together. Part 3 is pretty fun. You can't start part 3 until you've finished part 2 because, excuse me, you're not going to know what your budget amount is for your rent until you've calculated this. Till you've got your total monthly income, you can't figure out what 25% of your total monthly income is in order to know how much money you have to spend on your rent. But this part should be kind of fun. You can go on the internet, pick any city in the world you want to live in, take your salary. I recommend cities in the US since that's what the salaries come from. Search them up, pick something. Okay. At the very, very end, when you've got your total expenses are done, which again, you're going to be going step by step to determine how much you're spending. Figure out how much money you have for savings at the very end after you have your expenses, because this is the difference between your income and expenses left over percent. Then you can go to savings, and this is like your top 3. What you want, how much it costs, how much you need to save for it, and a picture. The reflection questions are pretty standard. What was difficult? Why do you think it's important to do this? Okay, this is your grading sheet, which at the very end you want to make sure to complete your self-grading column. Okay, so that's this column right here. This is for me to get an idea of how well you think you did. Okay, and I did take the pie chart out of here, so you don't need to do that unless you want to do it for extra credit, in which case talk to me. Okay, and then your poster is at the very, very end. I may end up giving you guys, I already set it as 80 points. I may give you more points than this. Okay, so that's the whole project. We have till the 24th. We're going to work on it in class. Start off by picking your occupation and then doing your research by going to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics or ONOT Online, which of course the website is not working at the moment. Hey, here we go. So ONET Online is very similar, maybe a little bit more detailed, because you can go and everything up here is kind of a link. You can go to details, you can see all of the tasks that they need to do. Tasks, technology skills, skills and ability, education, that would be the same thing as training. Interest, this is the same, these are those Holland codes we did. So shows you how much it's related to those different Holland codes. Work styles, things that you need to have in order to do this. Work values, related occupations. Okay. So this is that project. I hope going through this has kind of cleared it up for you a little bit. So day 1 of e-learning was to do the first 3 bullets on this page here, part 1. Day 2 is going to do 3 more bullets. So by the end of day 2, you should have part 1 done. And you should complete part 1 by using bls.gov or onetonline.org matched up with your occupation. And if you have any questions specifically about any parts of this, let me know. I expect that you guys are going to get a little bit challenged with part 2. Okay, but it is not as difficult as it looks like it is. It may be a little detailed, but if I can handle this kind of math, I know that you guys can too. We will go through it together, probably on Tuesday. So, all right, that's that. Send me an email if you have any questions. Have a great e-learning day, and let's have 6 bullets. So in other words, let's have part 1 done. Part 1 done by the time we are back together in class on Tuesday. Okay? Thanks. Have a great day.